Uptight and particular, yet down to earth and reserved, this walking contradiction intuitive is all about having a fine balance between goal setting and enjoying life as it comes. However, INFJs have a few things in this world that they prioritize above all else. Welcome, or welcome back, psychos! In today's video, we're going to be discussing exactly that, the INFJ's 10 main priorities in life. Before we get into today's video, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's jump right into it, starting with number 1, personal progress. The first and ultimately the most valued priority of the INFJ personality type is nothing but simple personal progress. Perfectionistic and future-focused, the INFJ prioritizes their need for self-improvement in all areas of life, often taking their own goals more seriously than the average person. In fact, for this intuitive type in particular, personal progress is much more than just advancing in life. Instead, it gives the INFJ a sense of purpose in life that they can't find elsewhere. Nothing lights the fire under an INFJ like genuine passion and purpose, and it's fair to say that convincing this intuitive type to do something with no underlying passion is nearly impossible. Simply showing up to work to pay the bills or settling for mediocre relationships just doesn't cut it for this driven type. They need to see the bigger picture, and in order to make the appropriate changes towards their goals, they must first prioritize this progress. Number 2, their own life. If you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. For the INFJ personality type, they know this to be true. Because this type is so naturally attuned to put the needs of others before their own, without proper boundary setting and an understanding of their own personal needs, INFJs can wind up in a toxic cycle of people-pleasing behavior. To combat this, they must learn to prioritize their own life, which most INFJs eventually come to understand within their journey. Yet, even when this introverted type understands this, they still need to intentionally prioritize themselves on a day-to-day basis. Before making decisions, INFJs must first ask themselves how it fits with their own values, energy levels, and interests first and foremost. Are they actually making the decisions for themselves, or are they feeling influenced by surrounding moods and emotions? Are they quieting their own desires to accommodate that of their loved ones? These are all questions INFJs ask themselves regularly to maintain this priority over their own lives. Number 3, kindness. Sure, most INFJs can say their kindness comes effortlessly and doesn't necessarily need prioritizing because of how naturally it comes. However, for this sensitive type to be in a world surrounded by so much distrust, hate, jealousy, and competition, it can be difficult to emanate this kindness without prioritizing it. They don't make decisions solely based on personal gain, financial success, or potential opportunities like most people. And so, this empath personality type tends to put kindness at the forefront of most of their interactions and decisions in life. For example, if an INFJ was in a leadership position, the happiness and satisfaction of the workplace is much more important to them than short-term progress. They will always make it a point to first balance and harmonize the situation through a caring eye because they know that everything is more difficult when the consideration for others is lost in the mix. This priority is not an easy one to maintain, but a little goes a long way, and that's all an INFJ needs to know to keep going. Number 4, new experiences. Ask most INFJs what they want as a gift, and they'll say an adventure or an experience. For this curious type, new experiences in life are among some of their top priorities when they reflect on their life as a whole. While they may not need a new experience every day, INFJs make sure to prioritize their cravings for new experiences intermittently. In fact, it's not only about actually going out and experiencing new things, but also creating a life around their ability to make these new interests happen. For example, some INFJs may be more inclined to have a rainy day fund or travel savings for future experiences that they've yet to think up. They may even go as far as creating means of income for themselves that allows them to travel while working, or choosing less mundane job positions that give the opportunity for new experiences. If an INFJ isn't constantly learning, they probably aren't prioritizing this crucial aspect. Number 5, alone time. It wouldn't be a list of INFJ priorities without stating the obvious. This introvert needs alone time, and a lot of it. Solitude for an INFJ is much more than just a preference or a desire, but instead serves as an actual need. Whether they need to recharge their social batteries to be ready for another day of being human, or they just want to ruminate in their complex imaginations, solo isolation is a priority that can't be overlooked. In fact, this need for alone time takes precedence over their need for new experiences and kindness because, without it, INFJs simply aren't themselves. Yet, in order to make this a priority in life, this introverted type can end up sacrificing parts of their social life, possible career opportunities, living arrangements, and even relationships along the way. Sometimes it can be difficult to communicate this need, especially to more extroverted types, and if it's not understood on both accounts, unfortunately, the INFJ has no choice but to prioritize their needs. Number 6, independence. In relation to the amount of importance this introverted type places around their need for solitude, they must be inherently independent, and for the INFJ, nothing could be more true. In fact, although the two priorities are so closely related, the INFJ's need for independence comes with its own set of priorities. Independence for the INFJ is all about avoiding relying on other people and getting as far as possible with their own imagination and footwork. Sometimes this priority can seem like a pride trip or even a distrust in the people around them. But for this lone wolf personality type, they want their life done their way. They hold deep understandings of the things and people around them, and so they prioritize taking an independent approach surrounding these understandings. Plus, with introverted thinking as their tertiary function, it encourages the INFJ to be confident in their logical conclusions while allowing them to efficiently come up with solutions to problems. Number 7, organization. INFJs are orderly creatures. They desire harmony, flow, and basic structure in their lives, so much so that organization is actually a main priority in most INFJs' lives. Now, they're not exactly the type to alphabetize their bookshelves or set a reminder to drink water throughout the day, but they most certainly have their ways of maintaining order. To some, this sense of organization may seem tedious or even controlling, but without this priority in place, INFJs can easily become overwhelmed by information overload. Simple habits like making it a priority to clean the kitchen before bed rather than leaving for themselves in the morning may seem like a pretty average idea, but for the INFJ, something simple like this can make or break the flow of the next day or two, especially when we're talking about the INFJ parent. And so, prioritizing organization becomes second nature to them in home life, work life, and even within their relationships. Number 8, advocacy. Often referred to as the advocate or the counselor personality type, the INFJ is undoubtedly known for their desire of helping others. Rooted in their kindness and empathy, most people with this feeling type are drawn to individuals and causes that need support and, instead of avoiding their innate obligations, they prioritize them as a part of their earthly duties. In relation to the INFJ's need for passion and drive in their lives, this caring type luckily feels most fulfilled when they're able to pay it forward. Whether it's someone in need of an open ear and some sound advice, or it's a larger team effort mission, INFJs prioritize helping others like it's their day job. They'll responsibly defend against injustices and then integrate the lessons they gained through others into their own lives. However, INFJs can end up taking these advocacy challenges personally, resulting in investing more of themselves than they originally wanted to. This is why all INFJ priorities must be met in conjunction with one another, for as soon as one receives more importance, the others can quickly fall behind. Well, that wraps up today's video, psychos. So, let us know in the comments down below what your most important priority in life is as an INFJ personality type. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.